want you to picture this. I am at a bowling alley. Let's say I'm being a weirdo and I'm just hanging out there by myself, just getting ready to bowl. And some kid, I don't know, some 10-year-old kid comes up to me and starts telling me, you suck at bowling. I'm way better than you. You're an idiot. He's just being a nasty, disrespectful little kid. And so I challenged this kid at bowling. Would I take it easy on him? No, he's not my kid. I don't like him at all. I would just utterly destroy him, make fun of him while he's rolling gutter balls and everything, just utterly destroy him. Why? Because I want him so demoralized that I never have to look at him again while I'm bowling. I'm going somewhere with this. Hang on for a second. But then, what if it was my kids? And what if my kids started talking that same mess to me as they might do? Dad, you suck. Dad, I'm way better than you at bowling. And I'm looking at my kid and I know I'm going to crush this kid at bowling. But I have a choice in that moment. He's never bowled before. I have a choice. I can make sure he learns his lesson gently, or I can destroy him and so demoralize him that I make sure he never wants to bowl again. Well, because I love him, because he's my kid, I'll put the little lane bumpers out there so he loses, but he's not rolling in the gutter every time feeling bad about himself. This stupid little story I just brought to you is exactly what's happening right now when it comes to Joe Biden. Well, the Biden versus Trump thing. Because I see a lot of people out there on the right. Why didn't they raid Biden like they raided Trump? Because you saw, of course, FBI found even more documents over the weekend. But they're clearly holding hands on the whole thing. Joe Biden's inviting the FBI. Their lawyers are working with the DOJ. We now know the DOJ worked with these people to keep it quiet until after the election. That alone should mean impeachment for Merrick Garland, by the way. That's like the biggest deal in the world. A Department of Justice colluding with the Biden administration to help Democrats win elections. But the right is tempted to do this. Well, they're not treating him like they treated Trump. Well, yeah. They wanted to embarrass and demoralize Donald Trump like I would want to do with the kid I don't know. With Joe Biden, they want to defeat him. Don't get me wrong. This is Democrats doing it to him. They want him gone. They want him to lose. They essentially want him to announce he's not running for 2024. That's really the end goal in this thing here. But they've got the lane bumpers out there for Joe. You see, we want him, we don't want him to run again. But we don't want all of us looking bad. So, hey, let's just work with the DOJ. Oh, no, he's working with us. He's cooperating. He's letting us know it's much different. This is good to go. But rest assured, everything that's happening right now with Joe Biden is a very big deal. You know it's a big deal. You even saw his chief of staff, Ron Klain, is peacing out. Why? Because Ron Klain understands this is the end of the road. And it's something, if you've been watching I'm Right, it's something you've been aware of for a long time. The people around Joe Biden were yanking him to the left, being radical the whole time because they always knew this was just going to be a stepping stone on the way to some lucrative media or think tank or academia job. This is Joe Biden getting shoved out, but with the lane bumpers up. I don't want to destroy everybody. Let's just make sure he loses. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. We're going to ask Miranda Devine if I'm full of crap on that, and we're going to ask her right now. Joining me now, great columnist with the New York Post and author of the book Laptop from Hell. She also has that great newsletter. I love the name Devine Online. Highly recommend you sign up for that. Okay, Miranda, you have a column out. Quote, there's no hiding Biden's fright over classified document scandal. It's your column, not mine. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hi, Jesse. Look, you can tell that Joe Biden is panicking, and with good reason. The way he snapped at reporters in California last week when they deigned to ask a question, he's managed to keep himself pretty quarantined from the media. And he said he had no regrets, that there's no there, which is a pretty extraordinary thing for him to say, considering that, the DOJ just went to his house for another search on Friday and spent 13 hours and found what they said was 6 items of classified information. We already know that from sources that have told CNN and I think the New York Times that some of this material in that first tranche that was found at the University of Pennsylvania that was pertaining to Ukraine, the United Kingdom, and to Iran. And so I had a look in the laptop, and there's one curious email that really stands out from Hunter Biden to his business partner at the time, Devon Archer. And it's on April 13, 2014. And it's just around the time that they join the board of that Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, around the time that Devon Archer is photographed alongside Joe Biden in Joe Biden, the vice president's office. And that photograph was taken by Hunter Biden. And this was all happening around the same time. Now, this email that I found is very curious because unlike most of Hunter Biden's other emails in the entire 9 years of this laptop, it's very detailed. It's a very strategic document. It is very well informed. It's very lengthy. It consists of 22 bullet points. And among them is, information about Ukraine politics, about the upcoming election, the candidates, and also some pretty detailed, pretty informed geostrategic information about, for instance, Russia trying to, is going to escalate its destabilization of Ukraine, and its aim is to get a land bridge to Crimea. I mean, these are all things that, if you're familiar with Hunter Biden's writings in the other 9 years, are just so uncharacteristic that you can only surmise that he's had a strategic briefing or he's had access to a strategic briefing. This email was a week before his father, Joe Biden, was flying to Ukraine, having been appointed by President Obama as point man for Ukraine, and he was going there to meet the then Prime Minister before the elections. And so I just surmise that perhaps this was Hunter having accessed or having been told about a classified briefing. The information there is too detailed, too prescient to just be randomly off the street, on the media, open source knowledge.
Oh, gosh, so we have Hunter Biden there with access to these things. Okay, Miranda, I have a theory. Just going to throw it by you. I think that this is Joe Biden's managed exit. This is his managed decline. I think he is in very real trouble here. But we keep talking about these documents being discovered. It's not Republican operatives low-crawling into his garage. It's his own people, his own lawyers. I think this is Democrats taking out Joe as politely as humanly possible. That's why they're working with the DOJ. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. And that really lets Joe Biden off the hook slightly, and the Democrats. If they wanted to get rid of him, they could find all sorts of medical reasons that are obvious every day to do it. So I don't think that's the case. And I think Andy McCarthy, the former prosecutor, wrote a very interesting column yesterday in which he's revealed that what initially happened was that when Joe Biden's lawyers went searching for whatever reason, but presumably you think that they were looking for any evidence that they might want to remove or at least be familiar with before the Republicans gear up their investigation. So they went looking for that material and found some classified documents. And then what Andy McCarthy says is that they didn't tell the DOJ. They told the National Archives, hoping that, or thinking, assuming that the National Archives would just accept the documents back and refile them and not tell anyone. And unfortunately for Joe Biden, the Inspector General of NARA, the National Archives, he caught wind of it or was informed about it, and he then informed, as he should, the DOJ. That's why the DOJ became involved. And remember that that first tranche of documents at University of Pennsylvania were discovered, well, we're told, on November 2. Who knows if it was really that date, if it was earlier, but anyway, it was last fall. And this was a week before the midterm elections. So it was kept quiet for that reason, because it would have been very damaging to the Democrats before the election, because it just showed what hypocrites they are and Joe Biden is, particularly when he points the finger at Donald Trump about his classified documents, when it seems that Joe Biden, who was, he's taken documents when he was a senator and when he was vice president, unlike President Trump, he didn't have that power to declassify material. And as Ted Cruz has said, as many Democrat senators, including Joe Manchin, said on the weekend, how on earth does a senator get to take classified documents home? And some of these are, top secret classified, the very top level of classification. And as it's been explained to me by a former prosecutor, in order to read those documents, you have to go into what's called a SCIF, a secure classified sort of module. And there's a guard outside the door, there's a guard inside, they open the computer for you, they show you the information, you get to read it, but you can't take notes. If you take notes, those notes become classified as well. You cannot take anything out, you cannot photograph them or use your phone. It's incredibly seriously, taken incredibly seriously. So the idea that Joe Biden as a senator had managed to squirrel away some of these classified documents is just insane. And then you just have to ask, considering that he had them at his home, in his garage next to his Corvette, and in another room, you have to ask, considering that Hunter Biden, during that period when he was, 2013 to 2016, the documents in that first tranche were said to be from, that was the period when Hunter Biden and his uncle, Joe's brother, Jim Biden, were at the peak of their influence peddling operations overseas. And that information, that classified information, would have been extremely useful, would have raised the value of what they were selling, the product they were selling, which of course was access to Joe Biden and his power and prestige as vice president and previously as senator.
Support the First TV today and get instant access to exclusive specials like Who is Ron DeSantis, the history of FBI scandals, and America's worst presidents. Visit thefirsttv.com/support or download the First TV app to become a supporter and start watching today.